So in 4 days, I have my very first in-person Warhammer 40k tournament. There's just one problem though. I'm missing my last model I need, and that is a Primaris Chaplain. So I've got a 1,000 point list ready for this event, 5 rounds. I cannot wait, I'm so excited. But I do need to, for this list, finish off this Primaris Chaplain, which is why we've combined the building phase and the intro of these videos into one little section, because time is of the essence. So yeah, in this video we're going to finish up building this little Primaris Chaplain, give him a quick paint job, and then maybe look at the army as well at the end. The 1,000 point list I'm taking to this event, why I'm taking it, and why I'm building up a Primaris Chaplain. So I'm going to finish building up this dude, then we can get him primed and just jump straight into the painting, because, like I mentioned, I need to be prompt and quick with this boy. Right, and here is almost all of our fully built and fully primed Chaplain. There is still the Crozius I'm waiting to dry, like it's got a little bit of milliput in there, so hopefully once that dries I can stick this new Crozius head on top of his arm and it'll look nice and cool. But that is a problem for later on. Can't have time to sit about and wait. Also, even though I've just said I've not got time, I did glue a whole bunch of cork down to a base. So it'll be all risen up standing on some rocks, but we can be efficient, leave that to one side to dry while we build up some of these base colours. So what I want to start off with is just some of the big bulky stuff. So we need to put some leathery bits on the cloak, which we'll use some browns for. I'm thinking like start with the base of Rhinox, that one, and then layer it up with like maybe like a shade and some Mournfang and stuff. And then also I've got a bunch of armour bits that need to be black. Now normally I use black Templar, which we're going to do today just for time efficiency. I do want to go back to Abaddon black and use more acrylics to get some more control and some more highlights and whatnot, but for the time being we're just going to stick with black Templar for this dude because he's on a bit of a crunch. Right, so that is all of the leather done. The cloak, the belt, the pouches, and it's looking really good. I'm actually well impressed with how nice it looks. I was getting a little bit worried for a while because I was like, I've spent a lot of time on this cloak. Like you can see, it's nighttime. Like I'm spending loads of time on the leather. Like, am I going to be able to get this done in time? But then when I sort of finished it and looked at the whole model, I was like, that's kind of like a huge chunk of it. Maybe even like 70%. Like it's a huge portion of him is just this big cloak. He's got one leather pouch on the front and two on the back. So yeah, to be fair, I want the belt, but yeah, loads of that done now. So pretty good, really happy with how it looks. Next up, similarly, I'm just going to crack out these bones, just because they're also like the other big thing. So once we've done these two things, we'll probably be like mostly done. We'll get into the whole army after I finish painting this dude. We'll go downstairs, lay him all out on the table, we'll look at everything we're taking and why. But I guess just to touch on and maybe preview that section, and touch on why do I need a chaplain specifically. So I'm actually going to be running the Companions of Vehemence detachment. I think that's how you pronounce it. And that detachment is all about chaplains and like enhancements that you can only use on chaplains and some stratagems that are better with chaplains and such. So yeah, as a result, I need a chaplain. I need this dude. Plus he's also just like looks so cool. Like look at that dude with the big like bone rib cage. It's not my first chaplain. I've got the Execrator, and that was one of my favourite models painting up. It's so cool. Like I mentioned, I love that big like bone chest plate, all the skulls and that sort of like heavy metal imagery. It's awesome. So yeah, definitely want to take another Chaplain, and the Companions of Vehemence detachment syncs up perfectly with that. Like I mentioned, a couple of little extra like enhancements and stratagems that go with Chaplains. So yeah, just a touch on why I need this dude specifically. Right, that's it. It's all done. So what was it? It's Thursday night now. I think we started this on Tuesday. So yeah, it took about 48 hours, which to be fair, actually, considering how good it looks, like, I don't think it's too bad. We'll get a proper look at it once we put all the army together. But considering a little 48-hour job, and it's a weekday as well, so I've been working. But I will say I've been smashing this out in my spare time. Like every spare second I get, I'm trying to do some of it. Like World of Warcraft, the Burning Crusade Classic has just been released. And I'm like, I really want to play it, but I also really want to get this done. So it's an absolute miracle I've managed to stave off that craving, and I've managed to paint up a full Chaplain in like 2 days. Yeah. So what I'm going to do now is I'm quickly going to glue it all together and finish off the base. I've done like the rocks and the brown paint, so I just need to chuck some like fake mud and grass on it. So it's got a base to go on. So I'll do all that now. And then first thing tomorrow morning, what we can do is grab all of the Black Templar bits from over there that we're going to take to this event, put them out on the table, and then take a look at it. Because yeah, it's getting quite late. I want to go to bed. So yeah, going to glue this all together so then overnight it can like set. And first thing in the morning, we can look at the army. So I guess that's the next thing you'll see. And here it is, my army I'm taking to my first ever 1,000 point event. And oh my God, I'm even more excited now that I've seen them on the table, knowing that in like 25 hours from recording this, they're going to be on the actual battlefield, just getting stuck in, killing things, probably getting killed turn 2, but oh, I can't wait. So I guess if we go over what I'm taking and why I'm taking it, because it kind of loops into what I want to get out of the day. So I mentioned earlier, I'm taking the Companions of Vehemence detachment, mostly because it's quite a simple detachment. There's no loads of thinking and planning. It's just you get to passively reroll charges, reroll advances. Absolutely fine. I know Gladius is like the #1, but what I found when I tested out with Gladius on Tabletop Simulator was it's a lot of decisions, a lot of forward planning, a lot of like mental load. And what I want to get out of this day is just to learn, basically. Like it's 5 rounds. I'm expecting to go 0-5, basically. So I just want to learn the event, learn the game, the rules, like the competitive environment, all the little tips and tricks, and like other armies. So it's just a learning process. So what I wanted to do was take Companions of Vehemence, because that would lower the mental load on decisions, and I can focus on other things like the rules, interactions, what I'm doing right, what I'm doing wrong, and just to learn, basically. So yeah, in terms of detachments, we're taking Companions of Vehemence just so we have a bit of less mental load and we can learn more. So, but what units am I taking to go with this detachment? Well, we start over here on the right, we've got the Death Squad. We've got a squad of 4 Sword Brethren and a Castellan and a Marshal. And if you play Black Templars or know Black Templars, you know this is the kill team. This is the whatever it touches dies. So it's my main damage dealer. And then whatever the big enemy, scary enemy thing is, we're probably going to try and get the Sword Bro stuck in, because they just do a boatload of damage. So they all have mastercrafted power weapons. I think if you get them all stuck in total, it's something ridiculous like 25 odd attacks, maybe like 24, depending on like the Marshal's buffs. And then the Marshal gives them all critical hits on 5s, and the Castellan lets them re-roll all the hit rolls. So yeah, if these boys get stuck in, they touch anything, they get to crit on 5s, re-roll all their hits. So they should absolutely tear and shred through anything. So yeah, when my opponent's like, this is my big scary thing, these boys are going to be sending it. And to help them send it, they are going to be in a little Impulsor. So I've got this Impulsor. They're like 85 points. They're really cheap. So he's probably should be over here, because these boys are going to be in said Impulsor just to send them up the battlefield. I've given this Impulsor the Shield Dome as one of the options to give him a 5-up invulnerable save, just to keep him a little bit more safe and secure. A little bit nervous, actually, to be honest, because a lot of these models I built, I was like, oh, this thing looks cool, this thing looks interesting, I'll just chuck it on, not thinking about the options. Like, I know it's fine. Like, I've got on this Impulsor for, like, the minigun, but like I mentioned, it's going to be the Shield Dome. So I'm a little bit nervous to be like, it's got a minigun, but I promise you it's a Shield Dome. Like I said, I know it'll be fine. I know everyone just builds them however, and you just tell them. But I'm still a little bit nervous to be like, ignore the lightning claws and the thunderhammer and the mace. It is power weapons, I promise you. But yeah, so this will be the Swordbro Death Squad in the Impulsor just to get sent up and stuck in. That's the main damage dealer. And I guess if we move left just a touch, we've got the Crusader Squad. So it's a 10-man brick of Crusaders with a Execrator attached to him. This will also, I guess, be a huge damage dealing squad because the Execrator lets them advance and charge, and with the detachment we can reroll them. So these boys should be able to just fly up the battlefield, move, advance, charge, get stuck into something and shred it. Because the Execrator has an enhancement that's unique to this detachment, which gives all the melee weapons in this squad an extra AP. So all of these chain swords, I think if you get stuck in, it's something like 30, 32 attacks. They're all AP -2 with sustained hits 1. So similarly to the Sword Bros, they should be absolutely shredding. They are going to hopefully be able to also, like, because there's so many, I kind of want to use these to, as it's screening, I think I've seen people talk about, where you basically use them to like bung up the board and get like enemy units stuck in position. So yeah, these boys are going to be dealing damage, sending up and trying to like bung up enemy units to keep them at the back, while this selection of units over here can kind of hold objectives and score points. So I guess if we shift over to this squad, we have got a squad of 3 Blade Guard veterans with our newly painted Chaplain. Look at him, he's so good. Oh my god, just to touch on the Chaplain briefly, because this is where he is. I'm really happy with him. I'm really happy with what we got in the time. There's a couple of things I would have improved on, like maybe one of the shoulder pads or a couple of the details. But considering we did him in like basically 2 days, I'm really happy with how he looks. Really, really glad. So yeah, he's going to be joining a squad of 3 Blade Guard veterans. These boys aren't really going to be big damage dealers. They are going to be just sort of moving up the battlefield, trying to like hold objectives, kind of get stuck in, maybe score some points. They have got 3 mastercrafted power weapons plus the Crozius from the Chaplain, so they can deal some damage. And the Chaplain himself has add 1 to the wound rolls, and I've given him an enhancement to re-roll hit rolls. So yeah, these boys can kind of get stuck in. So yeah, just a small little squad, just to like kind of move up, get stuck into some objectives, and just kind of be a bit of a menace. Like I mentioned, the Crusader and the Sword Bros are like my big damage dealing. They're going to be doing a lot of the killing. I've got a squad of Intercessors and a Combi Lieutenant as well that are going to be just for scoring, basically. And I feel like the Blade Guard are going to be kind of a middle ground, like doing a little bit of killing, a little bit of an objective. So yeah, quite good. And then I guess if we move on to the last squad before we get into the characters, we've just got a little Intercessor squad here. So they've got sticky objective. They can just sticky the home. They can move about, like maybe try and sticky something else. They've got like bolt rifles that just do like loads of attacks. So they might be able to fire a couple popper shots off. And also similarly, like I mentioned earlier, I'm a little bit nervous about the Sergeant, because if you know what I've done with my Sergeant is I just like kit bashed him to the nines with like a million different relics and all sorts. It was the end of the combat patrol, so I had loads of little bits left over, so I just made like a silly little like, put everything on this guy for like something over the top. And he looks absolutely mental, but he is just an Intercessor Sergeant, so hopefully that's okay. But yeah, these boys are just here for utility. Sticky and objective, kind of move around the map and just be a little bit of a nuisance. So they're all of our squads. I guess we've got 2 characters left on their own. So we've got the Emperor's Champion. He's it's the champion, man. It's a given. Like, how can you not take him? He's an absolute unit. He's got like an 8-inch move, a 4-up invulnerable save, absolute mad damage. If he wants to go into characters, he's a massively anti-character. He gets +2 to charge and then can have devastating wounds against characters once per game. So yeah, there's like an enemy character that needs killing, you can just send it like across the board and get stuck in. And then last but not least, we've got the Objective Monkey himself, just our brand new custom kit bashed made Lieutenant with Combi-weapon. So yeah, this guy has like Infiltrate. So we've got Infiltrate, Lone Operative, Stealth. He's got a million abilities. He's got so many abilities, and he's impossible to deal with, and he's a nuisance. So he's just going to be dropped into like an objective in the middle ground, going to be moving around, scoring points, just being impossible to hit. A little like sneaky mongoose. So yeah, that's him and he's similar to the Intercessors, not really to be done combat at all, just here to score points. Because that was one thing when I was building this army, was I just kind of wanted to get a good balance of destroying everything with these squads, scoring some points, then maybe some nice middle ground. So yeah, I think we've got a nice even spread of killing things and getting stuck in, and also scoring objectives. Also, one of the other reasons actually why I chose this detachment and some of the models just as an army like overall. So I was looking at the Templar vows. So the army rule for Black Templars is at the start of each round. It's not like a detachment for the whole tournament. It's every round you play, not round, sorry, every game. So every game you get to pick a vow that's active for the entire game. Now the default is accept any challenge no matter the cost, which is when you're making a melee attack, if your strength is equal to or less than what you're fighting, you get +1 to wound, which is nuts. Like you just do mad damage. But I didn't realise there's actually a secret fourth option that I didn't even know existed. I can't remember what it's called, but basically it gives all of your infantry sticky objective, which in a 1,000-point game I feel is quite good, because in 1,000 points you don't have as many units to do as much stuff as you want. So I've kind of factored that into the army building, where if I want to, I have the option to pick sticky objective, or if I want to, I can pick +1 to wound. So like I mentioned, if I want +1 to wound, say I'm going up against something really tough like Death Guard, or I don't know what else there is, to be honest, I need to look into it, when I should be picking it. But if I want to pick +1 to wound, I've got the Intercessors for sticky, and I guess I can infiltrate this lieutenant to hold an objective for a little bit. But if I want to, I feel like I can pick the sticky objective and still be alright, because these mastercrafted power weapons are all just like, they just hit like trucks anyway. The Chaplain gives +1 to wound, and then also if I have sticky objective, I can still infiltrate the lieutenant on like even the middle, like no man's right in the middle, stick it and just get out and run. So yeah, that's our whole army and why we've sort of included the things we have, why we've picked things. It's not the perfect army. Like, this is just kind of restricted to the models I own. If I could like have any model available for me, all fully painted, obviously it'd be like a loads different. I think one thing I would really like to change, that's kind of a small thing, is I probably would have got rid of these Intercessors and then picked 3 more Blade Guard veterans just to maximise on the Chaplain's buffing. Because at the minute the Chaplain's buffing just 3 of them. Whereas if I had a squad of 6, that'd be a big meaty squad and they could just sit on like the midfield objective or something, or just go like take stuff. Especially if we take the Templar sticky vows, like we mentioned, like giving everything sticky. I wouldn't really need like a small sticky Intercessor squad. So that's like a minor thing I would change. I mean, there's obviously loads of changes I would make if I had all the models and wasn't like planning on just learning all day. Like I knew all the rules, and I was like really comfortable, and I had like 20-30 games under my belt. I probably would have picked Gladius, put some enhancements on the Emperor's Champion, all sorts of different stuff. But in terms of what we want to get out of the day and the models we have available, I'm really happy with what we got, and this is, yeah, a good solid squad. I'm happy and excited to take. One minor thing I did really want to try and sort out is I really wanted to get the Redemptor Dreadnought in here, just because I love him so much. He's such a cool unit and it looks incredible. But I didn't really have enough time to test him out, try it, and I didn't know where to fit him. And I was like, this is quite a safe, simple, easy list. Lots of units, I had lots of things to do. And I think if I took the Dreadnought, it would take up like so many points. I think it would have literally been like the Blade Guard and the Combi Lieutenant, and then maybe like an enhancement off of this. And it's like, no, I kind of like what we've got, you know. Maybe in the future. I guess one thing I'm really, really, really excited for actually is to learn with 1,000 points, maybe get a couple more games, get comfortable, and then I could be like, okay, 2,000 points. I can take everything I want. I'm not restricted to being like making too many sacrifices. I can chuck down 2 Dreadnoughts, another squad of Blade Guard, maybe another Crusader squad, and just get them stuck in. So yeah, I'm keen for the future, not just in 24 hours time, but also like months time when I can start taking big squads. In terms of the event, I do want to film as much as possible, but I don't know how that's going to go about. I don't know what I can film. I don't want to, because obviously I'll have an opponent I've never met, so I don't want to be like making them feel uncomfortable. And also I might feel a little bit uncomfortable because I only ever film in this little safe space, my little office. So like, I don't know how I'm going to feel. Yeah, I might be a little bit uncomfortable because I only film in my office, like my safe space. I don't know what I'm going to be like or how it's going to be filming outside in front of people. So I don't know what the video next week's going to be. I mean, next week's video will be the event, my first tournament, how it goes and stuff. Just don't know what kind of footage I'm going to get. But it's a problem for tomorrow. But yeah, thanks for watching and wish me luck. Bye.